Lost both legs in war-ran marathon plus $22 million business. In the blistering desert sun, Sergeant Alex Miller's world went silent, then exploded. An IED. That's all he remembered before waking up in a sterile white room, a ghost of a man with two phantom limbs. The doctor's words were a muffled drone, but the empty space under the sheets screamed the truth. His legs were gone. His career, his identity, everything he'd built was buried in that patch of sand. Days bled into weeks. The hospital room became his prison. The sympathy in his family's eyes felt like pity. He'd stare at the ceiling, replaying the explosion, feeling the phantom pain, the crushing weight of a future he hadn't chosen. He was a warrior without a battlefield, a runner whose race was finished. One afternoon, his little sister brought in a magazine. On the cover was a man with prosthetic blades, crossing a finish line. The headline read, "The Unstoppable Spirit." Alex scoffed. Easy for them to say. But that night, alone in the dark, the image haunted him. A tiny, defiant spark ignited in the cold emptiness. What if? The first time he was fitted for prosthetics, it was agony. Every step was a battle against gravity, balance, and the searing pain. He fell. Over and over. The physical therapists offered gentle encouragement, but inside, a drill sergeant screamed at him to get up. Failure wasn't an option. He treated his physical therapy like boot camp. 5 a.m. workouts. Pushing past the sweat, the chafing, the raw skin. He learned to walk again. Then, to jog. It was clumsy, awkward, a parody of the runner he used to be. People stared in the park. Some with pity, some with a morbid curiosity. He ignored them. His world narrowed to the rhythm of his feet hitting the pavement, a clumsy, mechanical beat that was the sound of his own resurrection. He set an impossible goal, the city marathon. His family thought he was crazy. His old army buddies worried he was pushing himself toward a breakdown. But Alex had found a new war to fight, one against his own limitations. The training was brutal. There were days his legs throbbed so badly he couldn't get out of bed. Days self-doubt whispered that he was a fool, chasing a ghost. But then he'd remember the cold silence of the hospital room and he'd force himself up. During his grueling training, Alex discovered a new problem. The prosthetic sockets were a nightmare. They were uncomfortable, caused sores, and weren't designed for the intense demands of an aspiring marathon runner. He spent hours researching, talking to other amputees, and sketching designs in a notebook. He realized the problem wasn't his body, it was the technology. The industry was decades behind. It was treating amputees like patients to be managed, not athletes to be empowered. This wasn't just about his marathon anymore. This was a new mission. He started tinkering in his garage, using his engineering background from before the army. He envisioned a new kind of socket, one that used dynamic, responsive materials that adapted to the user's movement. He called it the kinetic socket. He poured his life savings into a prototype. He was obsessed. The marathon training became his real-world testing ground. Every painful jog, every adjustment, every failure was data. He was building his own solution. While his body grew stronger, his mind was on fire with this new purpose. The marathon was no longer just the finish line, it was the starting line for something much bigger. The day of the marathon was cold and gray. Standing at the starting line, surrounded by thousands of able-bodied runners, Alex felt a wave of fear and adrenaline. He wasn't just running for himself. He was running for every soldier who never made it home, for every person told they couldn't. The first few miles were a blur. The crowd's cheers were a distant roar. He focused on his breathing, on the rhythmic pump of his arms, on the feel of his custom-made sockets moving with him, not against him. Around mile 18, the infamous wall hit him. His body screamed to stop. Every muscle ached. The phantom pains returned with a vengeance. He saw the faces of his fallen comrades in the crowd. He heard the drill sergeant in his head. "Get up, Miller. Keep moving." He pushed through. The pain became a dull, constant companion. The last mile was a surreal journey. He could see the finish line, a shimmering banner in the distance. His vision blurred with tears and sweat. As he crossed it, the world erupted. He didn't just finish the marathon, he conquered it. News of the legless soldier who ran a marathon spread like wildfire. But it was the technology he used that caught the attention of investors and the medical community. His kinetic socket wasn't just a prototype anymore, it was proof of concept, tested over 26.2 grueling miles. Alex founded Kinetic Limb, and his garage workshop quickly became a state-of-the-art research facility. He didn't just sell prosthetics, he sold possibility. He hired other veterans, amputees who understood the struggle, creating a company culture built on empathy and relentless innovation. Within 5 years, Kinetic Limb was valued at over $22 million, revolutionizing the industry with its user-centric designs. One day, a young woman, a recent amputee from a car accident, visited his office. She was defeated, lost, just as he had been. Alex didn't show her charts or sales figures. He took her to the small museum in the corner of his office. There, behind a glass case, were the battered, scuffed-up prosthetics he wore to run his first marathon. He told her, "The world will tell you what you've lost. Your job is to show them what you have left." The explosion in the desert didn't end his life. It just started a new chapter. He lost his legs, but he found his purpose, to not just run his own race, but to help thousands of others start theirs. Thank you for watching. If this story inspired you, please like and subscribe for more content that celebrates the power of the human spirit. See you next time.